Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to In the Know, new QuickBooks Online updates for June 2026. We're excited because this is the second In the Know session in Canada. So, what is In the Know? It is a reoccurring webinar series designed to keep you ahead of what's changing across the QuickBooks ecosystem. You'll hear directly from Intuit leaders, see live demonstrations of new features, and gain practical insights from accounting professionals who are using these tools every single day. And this is just the beginning. Our next session will be hosted in July, so be sure to be aware and stay tuned for the actual date in July. Our goal is simple, it's to make sure you're not just keeping up, but staying ahead. I'm Shirley Joseph, your community manager at Intuit, and I am so excited to be here with you today. As a CM, my focus is simple. It's making sure that you stay connected, informed, and ahead of what's changing across the QuickBooks system. And today is exactly what we're doing, that practical updates that you can usually use. It's my pleasure to introduce your presenter today. Stephanie St. Louis is the owner of SSL Solutions Inc. Stephanie, we're excited to learn from you today. And for our
I'm
first
so excited.
timers, thank you so much for being here. And if this is your first time, can you please share a quick little one, two facts about you, Stephanie?
Sure, yeah. So I am the owner of SSL Solutions based out of Northern Ontario. And not only do I own a bookkeeping firm, I also own a farm. So you're usually going to hear a farm story or two somewhere in my slide deck.
Love it, love it. And we're not doing this alone, right, Stephanie? It is a pleasure to have Ricky Duquette. He is the CEO of Formation X. And we also have Lisa Chanel, who is bookkeeping manager at Maven Bookkeeping, and Morgan Payne, who is the founder and CEO at Entra Finance Solutions. They'll be helping with moderating and answering all of your question in the Q&A section today. So, before we continue, just a few quick notes about today's webinar. Handouts are available via the resource tab in the Zoom menu bar. So please submit your questions by tapping the Q&A button, and please limit your questions to today's webinar content. And a recording of this will be emailed to you following the webinar. And about earning your CPD, to receive CPD credits, you must be attending for 80% of the scheduled duration of the webinar. And today's In the Know is eligible for one CPD credit. If you meet the requirements, your CPD certificate will be emailed to you within 48 hours of attending the webinar. And please download your CPD certificate within 14 days or it will expire. Okay, so to make sure to remove any make sure you remove all distractions, please. I know this is like way far away from me right now. So close your phone, your office door, and stay with us until the end of the presentation for some community news. With that, I will hand things back over to Stephanie to get us started. Stephanie, take it away.
Thanks, Shirley. And we're all going to go off our camera so that you can not focus on our crazy French speaking hands that we have over here, but more on the content at hand that we are going to show. So give me 1 second. We're going to all go off camera. Perfect.
Oh, actually, Stephanie, before we do that, I
Yep.
just wanted to kind of share the agenda for today. Here's what we'll be covering today: new features in the Intuit Accountant Suite IAS. Introduction, we'll be introducing Intuit Intelligence, what's new in product, and finally, again, stay tuned for some community news such as the annual ProAdvisor recertification and a pro tip. Okay, now it's your turn officially, Stephanie.
All right, thanks for that, Shirley. So, just out of curiosity, by show of emoji, who was at Get Connected last week? Or in Calgary or in Montreal? Let's see how many of you guys might have seen some of the presentation that we're going to do today, but hopefully I'll share some new tidbits too. Wow, so many of you. I love it. Fantastic. Okay. So, if I say Intuit Accountant Suite, otherwise known as IAS, this should not be something new to you because we presented it a bit last week and we talked about it at Get Connected over the last few months. But for those of you who could not attend, let's tell you all about IAS. Before we get into that, though, let's do a quick little poll. How many of you have made the switch to Intuit Accountant Suite IAS? If I can get the poll launched, there we go. Yes, I have. B, what is the Intuit Accountant Suite? Or C, no, not yet. I'll give you guys, there is a lot of people on this call, so I'm going to give you guys a few more seconds to answer that poll. All right, and for time purposes, we're going to end it there and we'll see. So, some of you have said no, not yet. I like it. That means you'll hear something new today. And then some of you are like, what is IAS? But some of you have, which is great. I love that. All right. So, Intuit Accountant Suite. Basically, what IAS, and I will just say IAS moving forward instead of Intuit Accountant Suite every time because that will get long and exhausting before we even really get into it. So, you can opt in for it. What it is basically the next evolution of QuickBooks Online Accountant. So we all have QuickBooks Online Accountant available to us currently. You need to opt into IAS in order to get into this next level of accounting firm subscription. In order to do that, you're going to go up to the gear icon and you're going to click on subscriptions and billing. And then from here, you're going to go firm subscriptions and try Intuit Accountant Suite. So that's one option. The other option in your QuickBooks Online Accountant currently, you could go up to the gear icon and some of you should have a banner at the bottom of your gear icon where it'll allow you to click on try Intuit Accountant Suite right from this banner in the bottom of your gear icon. Okay, let's talk about what's in it, what's involved, why you should upgrade. It's inevitable. You will have to upgrade at some point. And my best tip or trick to you, or my best piece of advice, is in our slower months. Who's got slower months? But in our slower months, which is not tax season in the summer, now is the time to try this. Now is the time while we don't have millions of deadlines, while our clients are maybe on vacation and not sending us 500 emails a day. Make this transition now. Not only are you going to love the tools that are available to it, and I will show you those new upgraded features, but you will also have time to think about it and process it and absorb it before we get into our busy seasons again. Now, I'm going to alleviate all those little chitter chatters that I'm hearing in social media about there being a cost to IAS. That is a complete fallacy. But there are levels and there are spots where there could be costs should you choose to. But there is very much a free aspect to it. So right now, if you have not yet upgraded, you are on your QuickBooks Online Accountant. That was free. You do not have Intuit Intelligence available to you, but you do have some features that are available to you that are relatively new. If you were to upgrade to the Intuit Accountant Suite Core version, so that's the base version basically of IAS, you're going to get everything that was available to you in QBOA, but now you're going to get more, and it's still free. So by upgrading, you will get Intuit Intelligence available to you. You're also going to get all these extra added features on top of everything you already had in QBOA. You're not losing features by upgrading. You are keeping all the same features, you're just gaining more. So there's really no reason not to make the change. Now, there had to be a change so that we could offer all these features. We couldn't keep the same look as QBOA before because in that look there was restrictions in how the back end worked. And do we really care about the back end? No, we just want to make sure that it works. You just need to know that we had to change the look of it in order to be able to keep up with all the technology happening in the world now and to give you the features that you maybe didn't even know you wanted, but you're going to love and you're going to want and you're going to use it. Okay. Now, where there is a cost, but not yet, but there will be a cost at some point, is if you upgrade to Intuit Accountant Suite. Currently, though, it is in beta mode. In beta mode, you are getting it for free. Okay. Now, ignore this little line here that says that starting August 1st, it's going to have a fee. That is not true. They've pushed the date back, but they haven't updated that online yet, but that is coming. So they've pushed the date back. It's going to stay in beta mode so that we can test out all these paid features and decide if we like them or not. If we don't like them, no big deal. If we've upgraded to the Accelerate, we're just going to downgrade to Core and we're going to live in that free zone, in that free lane for now and indefinitely if that's where we want. But if we upgrade to Accelerate and we decide we like the paid features, then we can stay there. Okay, so you do have options. You still have a free option as well. I just want to make that very clear for everybody. Okay, with the Accelerate, you're going to have access to everything you had in Core and everything you had in QBOA, plus some even more features. So there's going to be the client insights, client groups, customizable dashboards, KPI tracking, all sorts of other added features. One thing that I want to point out here, though, is because we're going to talk about this later in the presentation, is in IAS Core, you're going to have available to you 200 prompts in the Intuit Intelligence chat. In IAS Accelerate, you're going to have 1,000 prompts. So I don't need you to necessarily do anything with that right now, but I'm going to come back to this later on in today's webinar, and that'll make a little bit more sense to everybody. Okay, so what are some of the new features? The next few slides, I'm going to just explain these features to you, but then I promise once I'm done explaining these features, we are going to go into product and actually see what this means. So there's customizable home and alerts. The customizable home dashboard surfaces daily tasks, reminders, and insights for every team member each day to help them focus on their most important work. You're also going to have access to user groups, and that kind of ties in to the role-based access control. So in addition to that, you'll be able to create user groups and attribute RBAC to the user groups. It is only available in the Accelerate feature, okay? The role-based access control, I've been calling it RBAC. I don't know if that's true. It sounds weird if I was like RBAC. That would be weird too. So I'm going with RBAC, okay? So we're going to set customizable roles and permissions for your team within both your firm's books and your client's books, okay? So it files enabling you to confidently delegate tasks and separate duties to your team member. So that is very, very, very new. Not only can we set customizable roles and permissions to our firm, but also to our clients, which is awesome. Not everybody has to have company admin access anymore. The books close feature. So accelerate your close process across your practice using customizable templates and statuses, helping ensure standardized on-time delivery while boosting overall efficiency. Your client insights, so monitor your entire client portfolio using customizable AI-powered dashboards that proactively identify trends and anomalies across financial KPIs, payroll data, and more. And then centralized operations. So manage all your client files with one sign-in, easily organize your client list based on any segment you define from industry to region and office using client custom fields. This one, I'm expecting to see a whole ton of really excited, happy emojis. multiple tabs coming soon. This is the only one that I can't show you yet today because it's not even live in product, but I am letting it slip that this is coming, and look at all those emojis. Absolutely. So you're going to be able to open multiple client files in Intuit Accountant Suite all at once in separate browser tabs simultaneously. How many of us have intercompany clients, right? And we're trying to balance intercompany. We're logging in and logging out and going back and forth. No more. I am so excited. I can't wait to show you guys this live once it is out. Then the customer hub. So, strengthen your relationships and grow your firm with an intelligent customer hub. Manage leads and clients in one place, gather referrals and feedback, automate lead follow up, and draft personalized responses for each lead, all while supporting relationships from initial contact to loyal customers. And there's a little secret thing in there that I'm going to talk about today, too. Okay, so the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's go in and see some of these features actually in action. So I am in my test firm account. There is no confidential information in here. I just use this for demo purposes. So the first thing we're going to see is, and some of you, I will be totally honest, some of you have seen this before and some of you will have experienced this before, but hopefully, like I said at the beginning, you will catch some tidbits of information as we go through that might be new to you. And some of you might have never seen this before, so it's perfect. So I have the option of clicking customize here. I am just on my home screen. I can click customize and I can move all of my widgets around anywhere that I would like them to be. I can put them in whatever grouping I want them to be, or in whichever order I want them to be. Once I'm done moving or adding widgets, I can then hit save. So that's part of the customizable part of the home screen. The other part of this is we can customize our alerts. So if we go to company settings, and this has been there for a while, but some of you might not have noticed, so we're just pointing it out for those of you who don't know. We have our notifications setting here, and we can change how we get notified. We can also, so this will be for the admin on the file, the company admin or the primary admin, but you can go into your team and change notifications in there as well for your team. As far as role-based access goes, if we go over to our all apps, and I like opening this window so I don't have to hover. I hate hovering, but opening shows everything at once. We've got our team here. If I go into, oops, I got clicker happy, users. So we've got our users here. Under roles, we've now got the option of client roles and firm roles. So this wasn't there before. We've always had firm roles to a degree, but now we can get very granular in what our in what roles we want our staff or our teammates to have for each individual clients in this client roles. So I can create a new role. I'm going to say add role here, and I'm going to call it AR manager. And I can put a description here if I want. And then this will allow me to get extremely granular in what my AR manager role will look like. So I can have it so that they have access to all sales. That kind of makes sense to me. But maybe right now it'll automatically default to no access in expenses. I could change that if I wanted to, but I don't think an AR manager would need access to expenses. Inventory, I can give partial access, I can change this up and give full access, and so on and so forth. So you can go through every single one of these sections and tabs and create a new role and give very specific access to this role. So this is one new option that we have. If I hit save to that, I can then go to my users, and I'm going to go into Jane Doe. I'm very original with my names, just so you know. Now, I didn't change any company roles, but that's where we could add company specific roles too. I'm going to go down to my client roles, and let's say I want to change her at Jane Doe's status here on company admin. I don't want her to have company admin. I can go and give her my AR manager role for this client. I can hit save to this. I can also click a number of clients and edit access and give her just AR manager role to all of these clients. So that's one way I could do it in one big group, or in one lump sum, or in one large transaction, is changing in bulk the access to my employee. The other option I have is there's a new feature. I'm going to hit done to this, where I can go back into my team section. And now we've got this user groups section. So we can create whole departments in our firm as well and apply this to our different clients. So if I go and I can create a new user group up here. I can decide who is going to be in this user group. So I can name this AR department. I created this here. I can decide which employees are going to be in that department. Now I'm just going to view here instead of creating another one. So I've got my firm users, so I've decided who is in this department, but then I can also choose which clients I want in this department. So I wouldn't have to go and manually choose and change the role type of every employee I have for each client. I could create departments instead. Now, the next question somebody's going to ask me, can I have a role and a department? Yes, your employees can have different types of access and different roles across all your clients. So definitely that is customizable as well. I highly recommend you to come in here and play around with this. Look at the templated versions of the different roles. Maybe you don't like the name of it. You can absolutely change those templates, the names, how they work, what access they have. So it's something worth looking into. No, gone are the days where everybody's a company admin. That's just not a thing anymore, right? And so it would be nice to, if that was something we could do or should do, but we really shouldn't. There should be restricted access to some of our clients and some of their information to different members of our team. Okay, so that was the user groups. Now, let's talk about centralized operations and something that I think you guys are going to think is really, really cool. If I go to my client list, you will see at the top here, I have managed custom fields. Now, I have created a custom field here called wholesale client. And then I've made the options for that to be, is it a wholesale client? And they've got a drop down list and it says yes or no. That's just one option that I have of filtering my clients, okay? I could create another field called customer type. And my data type here could be a drop down list again. And I can have my construction clients. I could have my retail clients. I could add up to 100 lines. Now, this is available in your QBOA or your IAS. Just so you know, as an IAS user, you can use this. The next thing I could put is, in my case, I've got a lot of farm clients. Select the category. It's part of customers. I'm going to hit save to that. So now I've got a custom field for my customers. I'm going to go back to my client list. And in here, this is where I can start to filter. But this will allow me to have segments in my firm for my different clients so that I can start pulling some really cool reports and comparing clients in the same sector that I have. So one of the things that I can do, so when I'm back in my client list, I can hit customize here. And I can put my wholesale client that I had created earlier. I just created my customer type. I could put that column in here. So now I've got these columns here. I can then bulk change the custom field. So let's say, I don't know, these clients are, I'm going to assign my custom field. Let's say those guys are all my construction clients. I'm going to hit apply to that. And you'll see here now in my customer type field, you'll see all of my customer type. So my construction clients are there. But then I could also bulk change, let's say all of these guys are my farm clients. Okay, I think you guys get the hint here what I'm doing and where I'm going with this. So, this is one really, really cool thing because now I can go and I'll talk about my next um, new feature is Client Insights. So, I can go to Client Insights and look at Overview, and I'll be able to filter some of my insights by that customer type because there's an identifiable new box, a custom box that identifies those clients. So then I can start pulling, P&Ls against all my construction companies, and I can start setting more information for me as the firm owner to look at between all my different types of clients. So, are we thinking this is a great feature? Do we like the fact that we've got these custom fields that we can add to our clients? Any show of emoji? Yeah, okay. So some people are resonating with this. I love it. Great. So in the client insights, one of the views or one of the insights that I've been looking at lately is these are just the templated ones that come with the client insight. They um, if you click on open here, you can add more and you can create your own views as well, okay? But this was one of the ones that came through. We can go in here and customize these insights. So what these insights are is basically a snapshot of all of our clients in one place. We no longer have to go into each and every client to look at information. We can come to this client's insight section and look at the information we want and compare it against the things we want to see. So remember I said client custom field. There it is again. I can filter for the range that I want. So if it's last month, if it's last quarter, I can hit apply to that. I can choose that my custom field will be my customer type and the value will be all construction clients. I'm going to hit apply to that. And now I've got the information for all of my construction clients. So you can do so much with this. I am showing you like a little tiny speck of all the cool things it can do. If you go to customize here, I've just got a few columns chosen. You could add all the columns if you wanted to and look through all of that, or just pick the ones you want. I like to see AR balances past due for these clients, AP balances past dues, because maybe I need to have a conversation with them like, hey, did this bill actually get paid or not? Is it really still past due? Or as like some of my construction guys will say, oh, we exchange services in trade. And you're like, oh, okay, great, awesome. So now we got to fix that and clear that up, right? So you can do that all from here and see that snapshot all from here. One other thing, this column is something that I've been looking at a lot more, especially I'm getting my admin to look at that a lot more, is looking to see which clients have a broken bank connection. So before the beginning of the month, my admin can go back to those clients and say, hey, do you mind reconnecting your bank account? We're about to start your books next week and for the month, and we want to make sure that everything's functioning. Now, I say that tongue in cheek because we know it breaks often. We're aware, and they're probably going to have to go and fix it again. But it's still good information to have, okay? If there's any app integrations with issues, then it would be listed here, and the total number of transactions, which is always good to know how many transactions are going through each of our clients' accounts. As I said, this is my training account, so there is not many transactions in these books, but you get the idea. You can also go to the P&L data form and you can see all the data for all your clients, or you can look at very specific clients right through here. You can also go to that client's reports right from this screen. So lots and lots and lots of features in here that you can use that are great. This client insights. Now, this is one of the paid features, but right now it's free. Go and try it. See if you love it. See if it's doing the things you have been waiting for it to do all this time. Okay, the next section is books close. So this is a cool feature that you can, if you don't have practice management software, or if you do have practice management software, this is just another spot where you can put all of your due dates or different processes that needs to be done on a monthly or a quarterly or whatever the time period basis is that you're working on, depending on the project. So I have created one here. This is the name of a company that I have, and it's for the June month end. The due date for it would be July 15th. I can also assign this to a preparer, a reviewer, or approver on my team. The status is to do. I can create a close. So if I wanted to do, let's say, I would choose the client that I want, and I would say maybe the period would be June 2026. Oh, I had already done a June one. So I could create a new close period, and maybe it's my HST, my quarterly HST, and then I could assign different aspects of the job. I am going to open this so that you can see. Now, this is a very templated version of a month end, but it's very, very customizable as well. So we've got our June month end. We've got our preparer, reviewer, and our approver. We could change these at any time. These are editable boxes, so we could choose from a drop down here. We can also click into our boxes here, so in our pre-close boxes, and adjust these how we see fit. So make sure all transactions in the bank feeds are coded. That was assigned to me. I could reassign it to somebody else. If I was done, I could mark it as complete, and then I would move on to the next item. There's links through here that would take you right to that aspect of the client's books, so you could click into them. Like I said, you could edit them, you could delete them. Maybe you want to add a different task here to make this yours. So like I said, this whole system is very editable. Your staff would see when items are due for them. They can be assigned to them, and you could assign them right through here. Is it a lot of work in the beginning? Yes. Any software that does this type of work is, but the worth is worth the effort. And in the long term, it will save you so much time to automate all of this and to have this in place for every single one of your clients. It'll even show you different things that are happening. So these are all things that we should be reviewing at month end, and sometimes we might skip over them, sometimes we might forget one. This gives you a really nice list. So like transactions without payees, you can click on this and it would actually bring up that transaction, and then you could add the payee right from this box and save it right from here if you knew what it was for. Okay, so very, very cool, very, very great feature, built right into QuickBooks. This is another one of those features, though, that would cost money past the beta trial period. So again, try this out in beta, see if you like it, test it on a few clients, see if it's a good workflow for you and your staff or your team. Okay, the last thing that I want to show you in IAS is the customer hub. So we've got a customer hub here. It's got an overview section, customers and leads. So really neat feature here. All your customers are listed here, whether they have a QuickBooks account or not, because some of us have clients without QuickBooks accounts. You've got this leads section, and this is one that I've started using a lot more, is I've hooked in my email account, and then I've hooked in my email account, my Outlook account, and this is where I've started tracking all my leads, so that I have a follow up. I have all the information, I see all the emails, I can determine if it's a hot lead, a cold lead, or a yellow lead, like a warm lead, I guess. And then I can follow it up through here. There's also the AI agent in here making suggestions on different emails that I could send, how I should respond. The one thing to note though, it is all very customizable. Just because IA is making a suggestion doesn't mean I can't tweak it and put it in my own verbiage or words, okay? So definitely for my practice, this is a box, this lead section is something that I plan to utilize quite a bit more moving forward. You've also got the opportunities section. So again, that's part of the leads. This is where it would all live. So you're going to want to connect your email account. And you've got estimates, and you can send contracts right out from here. You'll be able to get them signed right out from here, which is really, really neat. One thing that's not here yet, but that is coming, is that we are going to be able to book appointments with our clients right from here. So our clients can actually see that in QBO. That is coming to IAS, which is awesome. I knew you guys would love that. Look at you with all your emojis. So that is coming to IAS 2 for us. So I can't show it to you right yet, but it is coming. We should see it in the next little while. And I think it's another feature that we're going to love. What I love about all of this is it's bringing my whole practice, my business, all into one spot. I shouldn't need, a bunch of other softwares or subscriptions down the road. I might be able to bring it all into QBO, or IAS, I should say. I will get used to it. I will get used to saying that IAS. All right, let's go back into our slide deck and let's talk about Intuit Intelligence. Let's throw another poll out there because we're really curious. Have you tried Intuit Intelligence? Yes, I'm already prompting like a pro. I will now, or not yet. And I'll give you guys a second to answer that. Okay, I love the answers. So most of you said not yet, and that's totally cool because after I show you guys how it works and how to prompt in it, I am really, really hoping that it's going to go off to that you're prompting like a pro after this, or that you're at least going to give it a shot and try it. That is my ultimate goal, that you will try it. All right. So, what is Intuit Intelligence? It's not a chatbot, it's not a feature. It's a new system of intelligence built directly into QuickBooks. So, it's Intuit Intelligence is a connected system of three things working together. You've got your artificial intelligence, so advanced AI trained on 40 years of Intuit's financial data. The second thing is your business intelligence. So the answers you get in real time are pulled directly from your client's books. The third thing, and this is the most important thing, and you will see a theme in the rest of the presentation today, is that human intelligence. That means you. The system is designed to complement your expert judgment, not replace it. And critically, because everybody asks, your data never leaves into its secure infrastructure. I know this is a question you guys have, so I want to address it clearly right now. Okay? The data is never leaving into its secure infrastructure. It is built into the software. So I have been hearing more and more my clients are saying, oh, I took my reports and I threw them into Claude, or I threw them into ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever they're using. And that is highly confidential information that they're just kind of throwing out into the web. This Intuit Intelligence is built right in the software, so it is not pushing it out into the web. It is not exposing you there. It is keeping it within the Intuit infrastructure, okay? So that is the difference, and it's pulling right from your client's data or your data, which is really cool and awesome. Okay, how Intuit Intelligence comes to life. So there's layers to this, like anything. And you're going to think of it as a building. At the foundation, so at the bottom, the core, is that you've got the Intuit platform, which, like I said earlier, is 40 years of connected financial data. And every experience is going to sit on top of this platform. So above that, we've got the Intuit AI. This is the engine that powers the automation. It categorizes, flags anomalies, surfaces insight. It's always running in the background. Then on top of that, we've got our Intuit Intelligence. This is the experience layer. It's the single conversational interface where you ask anything and get answers grounded in real data. And then above all of that, you guessed it, the most important piece, the trusted experts, you, the human intelligence. So it's expert oversight complementing Intuit Intelligence. You. You are what's going to make this work. So, what can it do today? You guys can go into product today and see this. It's one conversational interface with four powerful capability pillars. You've got the analytics and insights, so you're brainstorming. You can ask questions, get answers grounded in your client's real QBO data. You can look at revenue trends, cash flow, margins, anomalies, scenario planning, and it's personalized answers in seconds for a very specific client or your firm. The next is your actions and guidance. The system actually does things for you. It can set up bank connections, detects and fixes anomalies, generates reports as PDFs or spreadsheets. Now, a lot of you, this is where a lot of you have issues and get upset is you don't want it to do things for you. That's totally fine. It doesn't have to. You still have to approve it doing those things for you. It's just not going to go off and do those things without you asking it to or without you approving it after you've asked it. Okay. Brainstorming and help. Your always on assistant gives you business strategy ideas, step by step QBO guidance. It can help you upload a file, contract, spreadsheet, PDF, and then it'll ask you questions about it. It's going to be kind of like your own personal assistant, like I said, that's always on, that helps you navigate all these features in QuickBooks, or I should say in IAS, if you want it to, okay? The seamless workflows. So everything's connected. Your accounting, your payroll, your payments, your CRM, everything's in QBO. And you can use it right from QBO on the web, your QBO desktop app, not QBO, not QB desktop, but QBO desktop app, and your mobile QBO. So it is in the mobile QBO, and it's good for if we're not using mobile QBO, which like the mobile app, which most of us probably aren't. We might use a small piece of it. It's good for us to know this because then we can guide our clients who are using those apps. Okay. So what you can now do in seconds. Let me make this very concrete for you. Think about the tasks that take up most of time in your day. The important but repetitive ones, the ones you do because they have to be done, not because they require your unique expertise. Every single task on this slide, so books, health check, cash flow analysis, anomaly detection, and so on and so forth, they used to take anywhere from 30 minutes to a couple of hours. With Intuit Intelligence, it's literally one prompt. But here's the important part. It does not mean that you are no longer involved. You still have to review, you still have to interpret, you still have to advise. The system handles the data work, you handle the judgment work. The system does not know your client's risk factors, what they like to take risks on, what they don't. They don't know that maybe they've got a new baby at home that they're dealing with. They don't know that maybe their kids are graduating from college and other things are happening. We are still that human connection. We are the ones that understand our clients the most. And so it's up to us. We can pull this data using Intuit Intelligence, but it's for us. It really is for us to interpret that data based on what we know with our client and then be able to easily present it to them. But think about what you could do with all those hours back each week because the system's pulling that data. We could see more clients. We could have deeper relationships, maybe higher value advisory conversations. Or if you're like me, you're going to take more time for your kids and maybe to ride your horse a little bit more. So this is what Intuit Intelligence will unlock for you. In order to use that Intuit Intelligence, though, you have to be able to prompt, and it's a skill worth learning. And whether you're using Intuit Intelligence or some other AI program, prompting is really, really important, and you have to learn how to do it well. So the good news is it's not rocket science, but you need to develop those skills, but you don't have to be a developer to do it. Okay, so think of it this way. Imagine you have just hired the smartest, fastest analyst you have ever worked with, and they have access to all your clients' QBO data. They have read every financial textbook, and they're available 24/7 and never complain. Sounds pretty awesome to me. But they need to be briefed well. So if you say something like, show me expenses, they're going to do it, but the answer will be very generic. It's going to have a ton of information. It's not going to be good data, okay? However, if you say something like, show me top expense categories for this client in Q1, compare them to Q4 last year, flag anything up more than 20%, and format it as a PDF for a client meeting. Well, now you're talking. Now you're talking prompting language, and it can pop out something extraordinary for you. So there's four simple rules. You've got to be specific, you've got to give context, you've got to ask for a format, and you have to follow up. Okay? These four things will take your results from good to genuinely impressive results, and the results you want to see. So, the anatomy of a great prompt. So, a weak prompt, show me expenses. There's no time period, no context, no format, no action. The response will be generic. The strong prompt, which is what I just said to you, this one is going to give is your sweet spot. It's going to work because you've got a specific period, you're comparing the context, there's a comparison context, sorry. It's got an actionable threshold, it's got a clear purpose, and you've given it an output. So you've requested a correct output. Tips to get even broader results. You can start broad, then narrow your question down. You can reference previous answers. You can tell who the audience is, ask for comparisons, request next steps, and you can upload supporting files if need be. All right, let's go in and look at that. So I'm going to start, this is a client file, and so your Intuit Intelligence is living up here. And so you can come in down here and ask anything. It will also make suggestions. In our client files, when we are in here though, our clients only have access to 25 prompts a month. Okay, so it's very important to know that they've only got 25 prompts. So I'm also going to show you how to prompt for a client, but in our in our IAS file, so that we don't use up our client's prompts. Okay, so that's very important. Also, you've got these three little dots here. You can look at recent prompts. So I asked last night when I was preparing, I asked the question, show me all outstanding invoices from the past 6 months, including the amounts and the customers involved. And this is the data that it provided me. I can say, yep, that's a great response, or no, try again. I can copy this text and paste it into some other format if I want, into an email if I want, or I can download this information as a PDF. It will also give me suggestions on next steps. So show details for each overdue invoice, compare outstanding invoices, how to send payment reminders. So it's giving me ideas. I can also ask it my own questions and ask it to elaborate. Because our clients only have 25 prompts and we want to make sure we're asking the right questions, it might be a good idea to learn how to prompt to get the answers you want. And maybe using like a free tool, so if you use Gemini, or if you're using another platform, maybe it's a good thing to practice prompting and ask it, how can I prompt differently? Or how can I prompt in Intuit Intelligence to get this type of data and this type of output? Because I will tell you, and Ricky gave me a really good answer, or a really good idea earlier that he heard from another person, was that what I think is a great prompt might only have like one or two sentences, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to get the best data from this. Another AI platform might give me 20 sentences to get that exact answer that I want out of Intuit Intelligence. So you want to make sure that we're using the correct prompts, but it's something we have to practice at. We're not just good at this right off of the bat. So because we only have 25, maybe practice in another software, on another platform, and then bring it into into Intuit Intelligence. Sorry. So you can go back to any of your older prompts and elaborate on them or update them if you want to, but that's just a little tip on how to save prompts. I'm going to go into back to my firm, and I'm just going to show you because I feel like this is important. I can also go into my Intuit Intelligence. I'm in my firm now, and you'll see it opened a previous one that I did, you'll see that I have the option of all clients down here. Or I can search for very specific clients. If I'm doing my prompting and my investigation or my reporting in my firm for a specific client, it won't use up their prompts. It's going to use my prompts. So again, with Core, remember I said I'm coming back to this. I've got 200 prompts a month available to me. In um, in the Accelerate version, I've got 1,000 prompts. So just be cautious of where we're using those prompts. Okay. Okay. What's new in product? Lock and unlock feature in chart of account. Who knew this is there? Show of emoji. You've probably seen it as you've created a parent account lately in QuickBooks. So what it does is if we create a parent account, it doesn't just work with parent account, it works with all accounts. We can lock an account so that nobody can post to that account. So I have this pet peeve where let's say I've got an auto account and I've got sub accounts as, fuel, repair and maintenance, insurance, and then somebody inevitably puts a transaction in that auto account. That drives me nuts. So in particular like that. So I have started locking those parent accounts so that they're forced to use one of the sub accounts. So you can go right into your chart of accounts now and do that. The next option that we have, the next new feature is prepaid expenses. It's only available in QBO Advanced, just so you know. Um, but it is a great feature, and I'll show you how that works. So if I go to expense and I choose insurance company, I'm going to close my IAS, and I say a $6,000 prepaid expense for prepaid insurance. I'm going to save that. You'll notice that the Intuit Intelligence, after I've saved it, comes up here. I can then use Intuit Intelligence to create an amortization schedule on those prepaid expenses, and it will then create a journal entry to realize it over the next however many months that I need to. I know, look at all of you guys being so, so happy. So I'm going to show you where that lives. So I created one last night. If I go to my accounting section and click on prepaid expenses, there it is. And I can view my schedule. I can post the journal entry. These ones are all pending, but I see this schedule that's created. I have the option of choosing what method it needs to be realized at, what the period start date, period end date. Everything is in here. So yay, 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 yay. I am loving this. No more creating journal entries or remembering to post them. I can schedule them all through here. Okay, Shirley, back to you. What's some community news we should know about?
First of all, thank you so much, Stephanie. That was amazing, amazing information. I was writing notes on my prompting because it's something that is a continuous adventure to to improve,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah, so again, thank you. All right, everyone. Welcome back. And again, thank you, Stephanie, for everything. Yeah, let's quickly cover annual recertification. To maintain your certificates, recertification opens on August 3rd, 2026, and will closes on September 30th, 2026. So the process is simple. You'll complete a short 20 question exam. Focus on what launched on the Intuit platform over the past year. Training is optional and will be available in the ProAdvisor training portal. And if you've been keeping up with product launches, you can go straight to the exam. And if you need refreshers, there'll be a self-paced module with resources and video recordings as well. So if you need to recertify, you'll receive a notification by email with next steps. So make sure that any questions to please contact in the email that you see on the slide here. Okay, so before we wrap up, we'll have a little fun. We'd love your input. At each In the Know webinar, we'll feature a pro tip that's selected by by you, actually. So today you can choose from four topics: formatting reports, which is A, B is calculator in the number field, C is magic keys for today's, and D is the R versus the C in the chart of accounts. So take a moment to review. Oh, we're seeing participation, lovin'. Okay. A formatting report seems to be a
I know it's
very
winning right
popular.
now.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, it is a because it's a landslide. Like A, reporting reports, making your financial reports polished and client ready seems to be what everyone is voting for.
All right,
Awesome. Okay.
I'm going to end it there because it looks like everybody wants to do
Yeah, I
formatting
mean,
reports.
everyone's
So,
yes.
all right. So this is a new feature that we're doing in this in the know, and you're going to be able to see it moving forward. But we're going to come in and let you guys decide the pro tip that you want to learn about if you don't know it yet. So I'm back in my firm. If I go up to the gear icon, you will see default report settings right there. And so maybe some of you didn't know you can actually set the default settings on your reports. So you can customize and apply to standard and custom reports. So the visual, you can change the header here. You can add company logos, report periods, company name. You can decide how the header aligns, whether you want it on the left, center, or right. Footer, your column heights can be changed. If you've got banded rows, you can have colors in your banded rows. Empty cells, maybe you want them blank, maybe you just want a dash there. Grid lines, formatting, how do you want your numbers to look, what view you want to look. So lots and lots of different options to actually customize and format your reports. And a lot of people didn't even know that that existed up in your gear icon. You could also go through your company settings, and it's right under that notifications section in reports. All right, let's go back to our slide deck.
That was awesome. What did you guys think about this live voting pro tip approach? Was that fun? Yes. Yes. Loving the thumbs up and the love. Yes. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Now, before we wrap up, please take a moment to complete the survey. Your feedback really helps us understand what's working well, what you like, where we can continue to improve future sessions. We appreciate you taking the time to share your thoughts and to have voted for the pro tip for today. And Stephanie, before we close, do you have any final thoughts that you'd like to leave everyone with?
Yes, we do have a date for July. We will be, you can register for In the Know on July 14th. That is going to be our next session. And we're going to have even more new fun things to show you guys and new cool tips and tricks for you to choose from. So definitely you're going to want to, it's the same link, same registration. Go into your ProAdvisor account in that learning section and register for the next In the Know.
Thank you so much. Again, thank you for sharing your expertise and insight with us today. And thank you to the rest of the team, Ricky, Lisa, and Morgan as well, for supporting behind the scenes and helping answer all of your questions throughout the session. And again, as a reminder, In the Know is a reoccurring web series. And as Stephanie mentioned, our next session will take place July 14th. We'll hope you'll join us again. We know that your time is valuable. So thank you all, every single one of you, for being here. And we'll see you at the next In the Know.